My name is Greg Sorbara. I am former president of the Ontario Liberal Party, and I'm joined up here on the stage with Colin Smith, the president of the Markham Liberal Riding Association, soon to have Michael Chan as its next member. And to welcome all of you and thank you for coming out. Can I just begin through Colin to thank everyone in the Riding Association. As a former president of the party, I know how hard people in riding associations work, volunteering week after week. Often the spotlight is not on them. Is that right, Colin?
That is correct.
And we are in Markham. We are in one of the most magnificent, culturally diverse communities in the entire province. And we are working towards a great victory on Thursday night. So I want to begin by thanking the Riding Association. And I want to introduce and bring up to the stage my caucus colleagues. Many of them, actually we've got enough members here to have a cabinet meeting. Would you folks mind if we took an hour or two? Some dear friends of the party. Godwin Chen, recently elected councillor from Richmond Hill. Logan Kanapati. Logan is a councillor from Markham. And of course, Jack Heath. Where's Jack? Jack is a former president of the Ontario Liberal Party. And the guy who has inspired so much of this campaign, our federal member from Markham Unionville, John McCallum. John, where are you? And my federal neighbor, Susan Cadis. Is there a Liberal gathering in this part of the province where Susan is not in attendance? I don't think so. Susan, thank you for coming. Now, you know, I think there are some others out here, and I'm going to miss them, and you're going to come up on the stage and have yourself acknowledged. But at this point, I want to acknowledge and bring up to the stage a number of my caucus colleagues, starting with the Health Minister. Smitherman, where are you? Here you are. And the Cake Minister, Marianne Chambers. Marianne, come on up here. And the Minister of every community in the entire province, Mike Cole. Come on up here, Mike. David Kaplan is the Infrastructure Minister, and you know these projects are always late and over budget, and he's not here yet. But protecting us while he's out there, our Minister of Community Safety and Correctional Services, Monty Quinter. And Baz Balkinson, from our neighbor from down south. Baz, are you here yet? Baz, come on up here. There you are. And my great parliamentary assistant and the member from Pickering, Ajax, Uxbridge, Wayne Arthurs. Wayne, come on up here. Wayne and I are trying to do a budget for later on in the year, and if we look a little bit beat up, you can understand why. And the great MPP from Willowdale, and an inspiration to all of us, David Zimmer. Where are you, David? Get on up here. Okay, well, that's it for my part, except to just say a special word of thanks to all those of you who have volunteered thus far in this campaign. It's cold out. It's not all that friendly until you get the coat on, until you get to the door. But I want to tell you something. From what I've heard, from the reports back from the volunteers, this thing is just, there is a wave going through Markham that is going to be in great success on Thursday night. So particularly to all the volunteers from all of us, from every riding association and from every corner of the province and from every Liberal in the province, thanks to all of you. Thanks very much. Now, please welcome George Smitherman.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It may be cold outside, but it's warm in here and in the hearts of Liberals because we're prepared to return Markham to the Liberal fold with fantastic representation. And it seems very, very right that in our greater Toronto area, where we know that the engine of the economy hums on the contribution from people who have come from all over the world to make the greatest country in the world, Canada, I'm so privileged to have an opportunity to call forward a man that we are so proud to wear a button for, a man that we are so proud to go door to door for, and a man that the people of Markham have said, yes, put a lawn sign out. Almost 5,000 lawn signs in this riding. A man dedicated to his family. A man who has worked hard to make a success in business and brings that success and prosperity to contribution on behalf of community. A man who supports the Chinese Cultural Center. A man who supports Markham Stouffville Hospital. A man, Michael Chan, ready to do hard work on behalf of Markham. Come on up, Michael!
You want me to speak the way... Well, I have to be honest with you. I can't do it. God, thank you very much for being here this morning. I'm so delighted, to be with you. With so many heavyweights before me or behind me. I have to tell you, I'm the little guy from Markham. Markham is always proud of its diversity. You know what? I am proud of the diversity in this room. Well, thank you very much. I want to say to the volunteer, it has been 3 weeks, and I know that the Canadian winter cold is not funny. You know what? Yeah, you're laughing. Well, go out there. We have 4 more days. But thank you so very much. And also, I want to thank, I think the Premier is coming. Might as well thank him first, eh? And Greg, Minister of Health, and the Liberal caucus. This is really very grateful and on the bottom of my heart. I came here many years ago. I was young. I had no money. By this time, I think everyone knows. I had no friend, but now I have not now. I had no relative. I had a family now. I'm very grateful that I'm able to develop a family, my job in Markham. And I think this is time to pay back the community so that I can do something. I want to do something for the newcomers coming to Markham. I want to fight for education so that our children can have opportunity. They want to succeed. I want to fight for the health care so that people in Markham will have health care in reasonable time. You know what? John Tory been here 30 times or more. Sometimes I was so confused. The PC opponent of me is Mr. John Tory. You know why John Tory wants to be here? Because he wants to cut taxes so that hospital will be closed. He's here because he wants to invest in private school so that teachers go back to strike. This is no good. We do not want to turn the clock back. You know, I am running for the Liberal Party because the Liberal Party is doing tremendous things. Look at the health care. Look at the wait time in certain procedure. You must thank me for that. It's done. Look at the education. Have you had any teacher on the strike out the cold? No. Is the education minister here? He has to pay. So we've been doing a great job. And I want to go to Queen's Park with the MPP in Markham so that I want to ensure that the Liberals' good job continue. Please. February day, you'll probably get tired of that day already. But get your neighbors, get your friends, get yourself. When you're in the riding, please come out to vote. Regardless it's freezing rain or cold or good day, because we need to send a message to the Ontarian that we do not want to turn the clock back. Thank you very much.
Here, here. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of us who know will soon join us at Queen's Park, we have been so privileged since the fall of 2003 to be in government in Ontario, not to turn the clock back, to be a progressive province and to look forward to a time that we've delivered where students have the opportunity to be in school rather than watch their teachers at strike. To be in a circumstance where the healthcare system works together to reduce wait times and where hospital funding is secured, not cut, as it was under the Mike Harris Tories. And to be in a circumstance where we work hard to offer opportunity. 86,000 more spots in post-secondary education today than when our government came to office just 3.5 years ago. These are all the proud foundations that we have laid. Proud in the Liberal traditions, in the belief that if we work together, if we celebrate our diversity, if we recognize that we are all in it together, that we can build an even greater province. We've had the privilege of serving under the leader of our party, Dalton McGuinty, and I want to ask you to join me with the warmest, rousing Markham welcome that you can offer for the Premier of the province of Ontario, Dalton McGuinty.
Up, it's cold out there, you should be in your beds. Curled up in front of the TV. You know, when we called this by-election, it was 10 degrees above, now it's about 15 below, and I want you people to keep one thing and one thing alone in mind. Weather is a federal responsibility. Thank you so much for being here this morning. It may be cold out there, but it is genuinely warm in the best sense of the word here this morning. Thanks for coming out in such good numbers. Now, I know it's tough to campaign at this time of the year. And maybe I'll share with you a little story to warm you up. In the last federal election, now that was a tough election. My colleagues in the federal government will know that. The federal party will know that. And I was campaigning in my riding with my brother, David. He's a member of Parliament. We share the same riding. So I went to a door, and a woman comes out. She says, "Don't worry. David's got my vote, but I got to tell you, I am fed up with that brother of his." So I was taken aback. Took a moment to collect myself, worked up a little bit of courage, and said, "Look, Mom, I promise to do better." It seems to me that there are three things that we need in order to win an election. You need a great candidate, you need a great team, and you need a great cause. I'm going to touch on each of those briefly. First of all, we simply could not have had a greater candidate than Michael Chan. And Michael, this guy, where are Michael? Get right here beside me. You're never standing behind me, man. I want you beside me. He's got such a wonderful, warm Canadian story. He came here from Hong Kong at the age of 17, was it, Michael?
One more.
18. 18. The age of 18, and he had nothing. He left his family behind him, nothing but a solid work ethic and a determination to succeed and to find opportunity and to make something of himself and to build a good quality of life for himself and his family. So many years later now, he's a proud father of Brian and Alex. He's very lucky to be married to the wonderful Elaine. He's a very successful businessman. He can take pride in knowing that every night there are close to 100 people, Michael, I think, who are enjoying a good quality of life because of the business that he created and that he leads. But more than just being a successful entrepreneur. My dad used to say, being a successful entrepreneur, that'll make you happy here on earth, but you got to do something else to get into heaven. And Michael's been an absolutely devoted and committed community person, getting involved with all kinds of causes. And he has this, it doesn't take much time at all for you to spend with Mike to quickly discover he has a powerful, all-consuming desire to give back. He has found so much here by way of opportunity in Ontario and in Canada, and he's determined to build on that success and ensure that we keep the door of opportunity open to all those that come behind him. So I want all of you to express to Michael now how grateful we are for him to assume this responsibility, for him to put his head in the political ringer at a time when there's so much cynicism felt for politics, politicians, and political institutions, for him to stand up and say, "I'm putting my name on a sign, and I want to go to work for you." Thank you so much, Dr. Kennedy. That he's in politics for all the right reasons. He understands that fundamentally politics is about public service. It's about taking on responsibility for the well-being and quality of life of others. He's not here because he likes to see his name on a sign or see his name or a picture in the paper. He's here because he understands that politics at its very best remains the best way for us, even today at the beginning of the 21st century, to come together and overcome challenges that are too big for us to overcome on our own. And he's got this wonderful sense of idealism. He hasn't been shut down by cynicism. He has this ability to see beyond the here and the now to the what could be. The second thing that you need if you're going to win an election is you need a great team. And you are a great team. And I want to thank you for the work that you've been doing, whether it's been knocking on doors or stuffing envelopes or delivering literature or making phone calls or pounding in signs. How are you pounding in signs in this weather? You must be innovating in that regard. But as you know, we've got just a few more days to go, and you're going to have to bring it home for us now. And there's no real secret in this regard. You've got to get out there and you've got to pull the vote out. You've got to ask people to remove themselves from the warmth of their homes in the Canadian winter and to come out and exercise that most precious gift that we've inherited from our forebears, which is the democratic right to vote. And it seems to me that when it comes to knocking on doors and talking to people in the streets or getting them on the phone, you've got about 30 to 60 seconds to convey the single most important thing that you have to convey to people, that you're there for them, that our guy Michael Chan is there for them. He wants to devote himself to them. Politics remains the means to a higher end. That higher end is the welfare of others. You're the great team. You're going to bring it home this Thursday. Give yourselves a warm round of applause for the work you've done. We've touched on the great candidate, we've touched on the great team. The third thing you need to win an election, you need a great cause. And I have talked about that throughout the first two. The great cause is always the same. It's the people. It's the people of Markham. These people in this riding enjoy a very high quality of life, but we intend to work as hard as we can to improve that quality of life. We're the party of hope and opportunity. We believe that everyone has the right to be hopeful about their future. Hope grounded in opportunity that we find today. And we're building more opportunity for people with good schools, with smaller classes, higher test scores, and respect for our teachers. We're doing it with better health care. Where's our champion of health care, George Smitherman? Right here, doing a wonderful job for all Ontarians. And George has been working so hard and so successfully to get our wait times down, to get our doctor and nurses, and by way of numbers, up. Greg Sabera has been working wonderfully to ensure that we have a good and strong economy. During the course of the past 3 years plus, under Greg's leadership, this Ontario's economy has generated 313,000 net new jobs. That's great news for families. Mike Cole is here. Mike has been working hard to ensure that we put into effect the very first immigration agreement between the province of Ontario and the province of Canada that ensures that we are treated fairly. We didn't think it was fair for the province of Quebec to get $3,800 per new immigrant, while Ontario was getting $800 per immigrant. We now finally have a new immigration agreement under the leadership of Paul Martin, I might add, which is going to ensure that we get the same treatment as immigrants arriving throughout the rest of this country. We understand the value of a clean and safe environment. And we're proud that, just two examples, we now have the toughest clean water legislation in North America on the books. And tomorrow, mark your calendar, tomorrow marks the first day of our revolutionary new LCBO bottle deposit return program. That's going to keep 80 million bottles annually out of Ontario landfill sites.
Here, here.
Listen, we talk about what we do all the time. We talk about where we do these things and how we do these things and when we do these things. But I've always thought that the single most important question in politics is why? It's cold outside. Right? Why are we here together this morning? Why is it that Michael Chan has decided to put his name forward? He decided to stand up and stand out. Why is it that we make these efforts together? We believe, no matter where you come from or how long you've been here, everybody's entitled to a great shot at opportunity. We believe, as Ontario Liberals, that what matters most when it comes to people is not the color of our skin. It's not the language that we speak. It's not the wealth that we accumulate. It's not the power that we wield. It's not the faith that we practice. It's not the traditions that we inherit. It's not the culture that we cherish. We think that what matters most when it comes to people is what we have in common. It's our humanity. And there's no party that better represents that powerful, noble ideal than the Ontario Liberal Party. Thursday's just around the corner. We've got to bring it home. We've got to pull out the vote. There's no secret to that. You've got to work hard. You've got to make it happen. There's a great quality of life in this riding, but there's only one thing that I understand that we might do, that we can do, and that we must do to further improve the quality of life that we afford the people of Markham, and that is to send, on Thursday coming, Michael Chan to Queen's Park.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, to our municipal friends who have been working hard for Michael, like Jack and Logan and Godwin, to our federal friends like Susan and John and Louie who are here working hard for Michael Chan, to all of you who are here today to dedicate yourselves even further to the challenge that we have for Thursday, from the bottom of our hearts and on behalf of those Ontarians for whom we are so privileged to advance an agenda of hope and opportunity, we thank you and we ask you that you dedicate yourselves even more in the next number of days. Work harder, knock on more doors, talk to more people than you ever thought possible. And on Thursday night we will all have the privilege of celebrating, on behalf of the people of Markham, that quality representation will be continued in the form of the fantastic Michael Chan. Thank you so much.
Morning, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Well, I have a question. During your speech, you mentioned that there's the same treatment to the new immigrants. Would you have any further policies and further steps regarding these issues?
Yes, we have. And I'm very proud of the initiatives that we've been able to take here in Ontario. First of all, as I mentioned in my speech, we have a new immigration agreement, which will ensure that we receive, when it's fully implemented, $3,400 per immigrant rather than $800 per immigrant, which we had been receiving. Secondly, we just passed a new law in Ontario, which I'm very proud of, which is the first of its kind in Canada, certainly the first of its kind in North America as well, which brings the force of law for the first time to ensuring that professional bodies, professional schools, treat new Canadians fairly when it comes to recognizing their credentials and certification. It's the kind of thing that many governments in the past have talked about, but we're putting in place, in fact, a new office, the Office of the Fairness Commissioner, who will bring the force of law to making sure that these bodies are fair when it comes to treating those new Canadians. There's a few other things we've done as well. We've got a new $5,000 loan program that we make available to new Canadians, and you don't have to pay us back until you get a job. And the $5,000 loan is to help you pay for any fees that may be in place in order for you to have to take tests or to have your certification recognized. We've also started a brand new program in our government. It's a 6-month internship program where in all of our government ministries, agencies now, we're going to hire new Canadians for 6 months to give them on-the-job experience, because we've heard from so many, I can't get a job because I haven't got the experience. So we're saying we're going to make sure that you get that opportunity to get that experience in our government. Those are some of the things that we've been doing to heighten opportunities for new Canadians. Right now, Ontarians need to know this. 75% of our workforce growth comes from immigration. In 5 years, 100% of Ontario's workforce growth is going to come from new Canadians. So it's very important that we work together to give new Canadians some opportunities to succeed in the workplace.
Just a couple more posts.
How important do you see this by-election here? I mean, is this one of the closest races of the 3 ridings?
Well, you know, I'd love to win all my by-elections. I'm going to be honest with you about that. But they can be really challenging. And one of the things that I've come to understand from a government perspective is the single most important thing you can do when it comes to improving your chances in a by-election is to get great candidates. And I'm really pleased that we've been able to attract Michael. He's got a great track record himself as a businessman and as a community activist. He's got a good history of the party, and he wants to give back to his community. I don't think it really gets any better than that.
What's the issue here in your view then? What's the main issue? I mean, this was a strong Tory riding just before Mr. Wong took it over. Mr. Tabuchi was very...
Maybe I'll let Michael speak to what he's hearing, of course.
I think we speak before.
Yeah, we did, yeah. That's why I wanted to get your view on it, but...
I think the healthcare education also for the new is the health care, including the farmers. Those are the top priority that we have to address.
Last question.
Well, you know, we've made a lot of inroads. When you're talking about schools, when's the last time we heard of a strike in Ontario in our schools? Because we work really hard to make sure our schools have the necessary funding. And to treat our partners with respect. We can't provide education on our own. You've got to rely on teachers. You've got to start respecting them. We've made some real improvements in healthcare. We've got weight times down. We're trying to work on with nurses. We've done a lot to invest. I know one of the issues out here is gridlock. People spending so much time in their car, suffering from family time famine. You get trapped in your car where the nose you love. Either, you know, coming back from work, trying to get to work. You got to leave earlier than the light service. So we've invested more than ever before in public transit. We've made a lot of progress. Healthcare, education, transit, community safety, making sure there's more opportunity for new Canadians. But there's a lot more to do. That's why I need money.
Thanks, everyone.
Are we going to see Mike going to cabinet in a few weeks?
All I can say is, you know, I don't speak to those kinds of things before, but all I can say is that he has a tremendous amount of talent. I look forward to using that in the best interest of not just his community, but of the people of Ontario.
Thank you.
I have a question for Michael. Michael, if you win the by-election, what's the first step you will do?
Well, the first step is to declare myself an MPP. Yeah, you know, we had, I mentioned a few, we had a few issues to address. The Markham Stouffville Hospital is one of my priorities because, you know, we had an expansion here, we had the renovation to be kickstart on the building work. So I think it's very important because the rapid growth coming in here, it must keep pace, you know, the healthcare system. Secondly, you know, look at the education, you know, we had a
tremendous education here. I want to make sure that progress continue on the new government. The Premier just mentioned about all the goodies that we have, and so I want that to be more, because as I said, like 60-70% of the people here will be new immigrant coming to market. That's the demographic in this writing here. So that's very important to make sure immigrants who come here, they will have a happy life, they have a good job and happy family. And traffic, of course, still one of the challenge for traffic, but as you know, the Liberal government has investing $100 million in York Region Transit. We are building the river. I hope the second phase will start as early as possible so that the express bus lane is there, so that the river bus can go faster instead of being congested in the car. So these are the things that that I like to see that happen when I get elected, if I get elected MP.
So healthcare is your priority?
Healthcare is one of my priorities, because look, people are getting older, the demographic is getting older, and there's a tremendous growth still coming to the market, so it must be addressed.
What do you think your strategy to win the by-election?
What
do you think about your strategy?
My strength? Look, you can see the strength today, and it was mentioned that we have 5,000 after the debate, we have 5,000 long time on the ground, and a lot of people get excited about my nomination and helping me to do it. So I feel confident that on Thursday people will be voting for me.